Hello again, Jack Sheffield, Jack the Exam Guy. We're going to be talking about compaction of soil. You might get a question like this. The pit is to be filled with, the pit to be filled is 20 feet by 30 feet by 10 feet deep, and the compaction rate is 25%. How much soil will it take to fill the pit? Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead and hit the pause button and see if you can figure this out. Did you get 7,500 cubic feet? Yeah. So you did 20 by 30 by 10, and you got 6,000 cubic feet. And then you added 25%, and you got 7,500 cubic feet. Okay. And that was answer A, and you go on and, go on to the rest of your exam. But I want to just caution you a little bit. This is not like your typical math question. It's a little bit different. So it's a little bit, if you remember your break-even question from the business and finance, it's more like the break-even question. And because let's try this. So we get our answer at 7,500 cubic feet. If we did 20 by 30 by 10, we got 6,000. We added 25%, we get 7,500 cubic feet. But let's check our answer. Okay, so we've got our 7,500 cubic feet, and we take out 25% of that, and what do we end up with? We end up with 5,625, 5,625 cubic feet. Will that fill that pit? No, it sure won't. And we're going to be 325 cubic feet short. Well, how does that work? Well, let's think about it for a minute. Okay, so let's say this is our pit, 20 by 30, 10 feet deep. We figure 6,000 cubic foot, we have 25% compaction. So let's say we take our 6,000 and we fill the pit completely, and then it compacts. Okay, so what does that leave? That should leave 25%, right? Okay, so 6,000 minus our 25%, we fill 4,500 here. We ended up a compacted 4,500, right? Which is going to leave another 1,500 here. So if we add the 1,500, we get the 7,500. But what happens with this 1,500? It gets compacted. Oh, and then we have where it's not full yet, right? And then it happens again once we fill that up. So it just kind of becomes, every little bit that you add, still got to compact it. So we got to look at it a different way. Okay. Once again, if you thought the answer was 7,500 and you took away 25%, you didn't get enough to fill that 6,000 cubic feet that you needed. Are you scratching your head yet? I think I'm scratching my head a little bit. Okay, so let's look at it again. Let's look at it a different way. We're going to look at it like those break-even questions, if you can remember that. I know they're complicated, but it's really not that bad. So we take our 20 by 30 by 10, once again, 25%, and here's our answer. So let's think about it this way. 6,000 cubic feet represents what percent of the soil that we need? Okay, if we're going to lose 25 in compaction, then the 6,000 represents what? You might want to hit the pause button. I'd like for you to think about that for a minute. So the 6,000, since all of anything is 100%, and we're going to lose 25, the 6,000 represents 75%. Okay, and if 6,000 is 75%, what is 1%? Because if we know 1%, we can figure out 100%, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for 100%. So if 6,000 is 75%, 6,000 divided by 75 is 80. And 80 is 1%. And so we take 80 times 100 to get 100%, and we get 8,000. I know you're scratching your head on this one, and that's okay. This is a kind of a brain teaser, but this really is the way it works, and it's one that's not so bad if you're prepared for it. All right, so um, eight. So now we're going to check our answer. 8,000 cubic feet minus 25% is 6,000. Now, we didn't convert anything to cubic yards yet because once you start converting to cubic yards, it becomes a little more confusing to try to explain. So I left it all in cubic feet because, they're going to ask you the question in cubic yards. So you're going to have to make that conversion too. But I wanted this is easier to explain this way. So it's actually 8,000 cubic feet. Because if you take away 25%, you get 6,000 cubic feet. Okay, now there's a shortcut to this. If you since you know that it's 75%, this amount, this 6,000 is 75%, you take 6,000 divided by 75, hit the percent key, and the answer is there, 8,000. That's one shortcut way. Another shortcut way is try all your answers. Okay, 7,500 minus 25%. Oh, that doesn't work. 8,000 does. Okay, just try every answer and see what works. Kind of an interesting